We're here in Atlanta today at the Buckhead Gallery for Cambria, and Michel Smith Boyd should be arriving any moment. It's going to be a big opportunity. We kind of have a one-on-one consultation where Michel's going to take us through the process of designing and selecting materials. It's a big project. There's a lot going on. I cannot wait to get started.
Hey there. How are you? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Let's make everything, I think. And then last year was so...
The moment we've all been waiting for. We made our way to the front of the gallery. We have some gorgeous natural light, and I know that you were very intentional with the design that we're going to reveal right now.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about it.
This is Berkshire brass, Satin Ridge Berkshire brass, and I could not wait to see it in person because I have a little sample. So it's really important that I see this in larger format so I can understand how it's gonna play in the room. Like, you think about a movie, this is a main character. This is main character energy. And this dimension is what I was hoping I was gonna feel. That raised surface on the white and then a little bit of depth when it comes to the gold. It feels like a river kind of, piercing through the earth, right? I love that.
How important is it that your clients see a larger sample like this?
Very. Part of my process is coming in and interacting with it. If this is going to the kitchen, how many times is it gonna be touched?
Right.
How many people in the family or guests in the home are gonna experience this countertop? I wanna have this firsthand experience so that I can get them as excited as I am. The value is already there. I don't have to sell it. I just need to experience it. And I can't stop with this one because I just want to touch it.
Okay, now that we've met the main character, she needs her support actresses, right? So let's head on back. I want to see everybody else that's going to be playing in this space.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get at least two, right? At least.
All right, when you said materials, you meant materials.
I meant materials.
We are here and you came to play.
Yeah, and that's my favorite word. Design feels like creativity at play, right? So, and I love materials. It's my favorite way to tell stories. So this is the concept overall, right? I start with the overall narrative. Where do I want to land? What kind of story, what kind of mood do I want to set in the space? And either one of these three designs could have fit the narrative. However, I landed on Skara Brae. It's an old favorite of mine. I love it.
Beautiful. So what was the first step? Like, what inspired this entire design?
Well, what's the space gonna be in the destination, right? This is a beauty bar. It's in a commercial space. So obviously, because it's commercial, I want something durable. You're my go-to source for that. Beauty and durability live here. So I wanted to have something that was quartz, but then all the materials around it, it all comes together to create a mood ultimately. Foundation for me is wall, ceiling, and floor. A lot of people leave the ceiling out. In this space, I wanted that jewel box effect, so I wanted to cover the ceiling too. I want to be encapsulated when we walk in like beauty all the way around. Think genie in a bottle.
Oh, I love that. It actually looks like the inside, the colors and everything.
You can be Barbara Eaton.
Well, hold on. Is the ponytail right?
Do it.
I don't know if I have it.
This way.
I don't know if I nailed it. You nailed the space though, for sure. But now that you say that, I remember that space, that nostalgia, and it was so beautiful and opulent.
Exactly. So that it'll be nostalgic to some, but it'll also be inspiring to everyone. If design isn't aspirational, then what are we doing, right?
Right.
This one, we pushed the envelope a great deal, but this edition, this feels like art. You would be hard pressed to make anybody believe that this didn't occur naturally.
Right.
Skara Brae is one of those things that it's so beautiful, it's so rhythmic, and that kind of thing in an atmosphere like this where we're telling one story with multiple patterns, this kind of rhythm is a beautiful addition.
This is quite possibly the best design consultation I've ever been part of. This is so exciting. But what's funny about it is when I look at this, we were talking about I Dream of Jeannie earlier.
Yeah.
That has aged beautifully.
Yes.
Like that could be as relevant today as it was back in the day that we watched it.
It evoked the joy in you, right?
Yes.
That's what design is supposed to do. How do you want to feel at home? What is your home supposed to give back to you when you come home from a long day? How is it supposed to prepare you for the beginning of that long day? Creating that narrative in evoking mood via spaces is an incredible gift that we get to share with you, our clients, so that you can go out and share your gift somewhere else.
What's interesting to me as I take all of this in is it's opulence without excess. and I don't know that I would know when to stop. How do you, is that something that just develops over time, or is it a natural gift?
So there are two tricks that I use. One of them immediately
God, this is gold. I want to know your tricks.
I use my camera phone. Everybody's got one, right?
Okay.
So I'm looking down at materials and I will snap a picture of it. It allows me to get out of my own head, away from this, and look at it from another point of view. Because I'm looking at it from like a third eye, right? Through the camera. And once I see it on camera, you can tell if the colors are as complementary as they're appearing to be in front of you, but also you're like, you know what? That one's much stronger. Let's rule that out.
And you just know that from instinct.
Once you look at the photo, it'll tell you. That's my real tip, all right? But the second one is, I think that things are as valuable as how well they age. That's my litmus test for luxury. If something is gonna age well, then I am willing to invest a little bit more into that. If I think that that finish is gonna patina beautifully, like I love a living finish, right? I have a thing about an unlacquered brass that ages over time and gets a little bit green. And
You must love our alloy collection. Yes,
I love
yes.
that, right? And especially against this, that's the constant. That kind of texture, that kind of variance in your interior is a beautiful thing. That's my litmus test for luxury, and it works for clothing, it works for homes, it works for finishes, it works for countertops, it works for everything.
We live in the real world, and there's a question that I have to ask.
Why would you do that? I brought you to fantasy.
You know where I'm going. It's the B word, but not the B word that you might be thinking. How do we navigate budget? And how often can we stick to the budget?
Imagination is a big part of this.
Okay.
However, real world budgets are the other part, and we have to be good stewards of our clients. One of the great things about Cambria's product is that it doesn't change. As gorgeous as this gallery is today, it's gonna be this way in 20 years. And the idea of investing money in that line item, in the places that's gonna bring you the most value to your home, your kitchens and your primary bathrooms, it makes sense, right? I like to prioritize when it comes to budget.
Okay.
What are we gonna come in contact with the most? Our counters.
Your surfaces,
and our
right?
kitchens, exactly.
They have to perform.
I'll spend more money on my counters than I would my cabinets or my hardware. Those line items move down a little bit in the pecking order.
Okay.
But I want to spend money on the things that I'm gonna experience the most and the things that need to last the longest.
One of our favorite questions to ask designers is kind of the hot take right now. And let me explain what a hot take is. A hot take is your opinion on something that's trending or potentially a little bit controversial. So what's your hot take?
I gotta be honest, I don't really look at trends that often. There are some things that have resurfaced in our industry, right, that I do enjoy. Things like plaster finishes on walls, on pottery, things like that. Anything hand molded that feels like living finishes that changes maybe patinas over time, I'm into it. I love that texture it adds to an interior and that little bit of personality. Like, it's not a showroom anymore, you know? It's growing with the family. And even like some of the minimalist principles, I like that too. But I want to warm that room as much as possible, which is why I love Cambria, but I don't really follow trends. I think designers are supposed to set them, don't you?
That's maybe the hottest hot take I've heard yet. Nicely done. Thank you so much for doing this with us today. It is all beautiful. I can't wait to see the finished space.
Me too. Thanks for having me.